Well, new reports just came out of how the standing is with Trump versus Harris. Also the fact of when we talk about swing states, we're not only talking about swing states, we're talking about Senate races, House races. Everything is swinging in a way that Dems should be panicking. We're also going to talk about some of the policies like tariffs, how people have it so wrong. We're going to discuss that. Trump went right into Chicago to discuss this, and he got standing ovations to start it and to finish it. We're going to discuss these things and Kamala a little bit more. And I'll be honest with you, things are looking up. The thing is this, though. When all looks up, don't be surprised when they try to pull some crazy punches that are unethical, maybe even a little illegal. Let's talk about it today. Hey guys, welcome to The Max. Thank you so very much for being here today. If you are new to the channel, go down here, press subscribe, ring the bell. Give us a thumbs up or a thumbs down, that's okay, but let us know what you think about the content of today's video. Thank you for all the ones who's wished me well wishes. I have been under the weather. I've got through the videos, got through my normal chores, but I lost about 10 pounds in about 6 days because of crazy virus. You know how that goes, but thank you so much. We talked about it a little bit more on the vlog channel, The Max Life, so if you've missed that, on that channel, you can go check those vlogs out. But it was a pretty bad deal, but I am feeling better. Thank you so very much for your prayers and wishing me well in the comments. Now let's jump into the stories of the day. Before we do, look at these little lamb. I had 2 new lamb on the farm. We showed them on the vlog a little bit more, but aren't these some pretty lambs? And and then you could see the cows behind me. I love fall time. I love this season. It is stressful because of the elections and all, but this part of the season is my favorite. I love it. So anyways, I digress. Let's talk about the stories of the day. Now, President Trump goes to Chicago. This Bloomberg editor tried to just catch him in just about every little thing he could. While Kamala was at Charlemagne the God, the Breakfast Club, and other places with word salads and not answering anything on policy, the Bloomberg editor asked, he said, well, tariffs are just going to basically cause more tax on the consumers. And Trump, I thought, did well. What he said is, and this is exactly what most economists, people who understand and doesn't play top politics, what tariffs actually are. So what he was saying is, look, tariffs are negotiation tools. They say, look, if you're not going to do business right, we're going to stick a high tariff on your goods coming in. So that's either going to incentivize Americans to start working again and Americans' manufacturing jobs to kick back off, or it's going to bring lower rates of goods coming in. But not only that, here's the key. It's going to allow for some of those, like for instance in UK, Germany, in Asia. You know, there's no Chevrolets, there's no Fords driving around. We buy all their goods, but they don't buy any of ours. So what tariffs does is it comes in and it makes the market all the same. It makes it where they have to play on an even playing field. Now, we can't touch them on how they choose to do labor, things like that. That's how they always beat us. But what Trump is coming in and saying is we're going to make it fair, so you're not going to be able to just put your cheap goods over here. You're going to pay either a higher premium to get them over here, or we're going to negotiate and you're going to start buying our goods and sending them over there. It's a huge business move, and it makes it better because what it does is it puts Americans to work, people. Not only does it keep the goods from coming over here that may not be good, they may be subpar, it allows the American manufacturers to get back to work. It also puts American manufacturers back to work anyways, because now they're negotiating the fact to start buying some of our goods. You know, you see Mercedes and BMWs and all these European cars over here, but just like Trump said, he asked Angela Merkel one time, he said, hey, how many of my Chevrolets or Fords are over there in your country? And she said, really, probably none. He said the same thing in Italy. You know why? Because they don't buy our goods. We don't make them buy our goods. Trump said we've been dealt a crappy hand because of our leadership and the kickbacks they get. I want to make it better. It's time for that reset. The kind of reset that he's talking about is American being it first. This is why this is important. I want you to listen to this now, okay? People are starting to realize it. Trump's lead now in the poly markets. Poly markets are betting markets. That means people have to put their money, not just say they're going to cast a vote. Trump's lead has now hit another record high to where Trump is leading with a 57.7% chance of winning versus Kamala's 41.9% chance of winning. That's almost a 17% swing right there. Now that is about a 5 to 7% switch just from last week. The more interviews that Kamala does, the more it actually hurts her because her policies absolutely suck. And then her economic development policies yesterday came out to where it only benefits one race. Talking about being very polarizing, wouldn't you think that's a little dishonest? Wouldn't you want to affect all Americans and help all Americans and not just one? Come on. So what we're seeing is she's pandering to a certain group of individuals because she feels like she's losing the votes of the African Americans, but what she's actually doing is she's trying to polarize the rest of us. And that's a wrong approach, and I think it's coming back to finally bite her, where people are saying, what is she talking about? Nobody cares what she's talking about. People care about what I'm paying and how much money I'm making and the fact of inflation. Don't give me some new entrepreneurial benefit that's not even going to benefit us. It's going to benefit only one race in America. That's wrong. Let's just hit on some key facts. Key facts. Sanders comes out, Bernie Sanders comes out and says Harris should get more credit for being the most progressive administration. That not only did Biden and Harris take it to the next step, Harris is going to take it even further. And this is, if you're looking for an activist, progressive leader, Harris is the answer. Now, does that encourage you to vote for her? No. Guess what else? There's another article from Breitbart that says, Wall Street sides with Harris as Main Street sides with Trump. What it shows is Trump is speaking for people. Harris is speaking for the elite and the establishment. That's why all these politicians, all these people in the swamp are wanting to back Harris, because all they want to do is fatten their pockets and keep doing what they're doing, and while the American people are struggling. Numbers show food, rent, electricity prices all soar under Biden-Harris administration. It says Americans are feeling the pain, rising cost of everyday necessities. This has happened since January of 2021. It has went up incrementally over that time to where it's averaged higher. Now listen to this. The prices of groceries over that 4-year period, basically 3.5, almost 4-year period, even though it's up and down, it's went up over 22.6%. Rent is up 23.2%. Electricity is up 28.3%. Insurance is up over 30%. So when these mega movie stars come out and say, well, Harris is going to change everything for you, listen to what they're saying as you're living through the economy that Harris was part of. And if Bernie's right, which Bernie probably is right, if Kamala wants to keep doing the same policies and even making them more liberal and more activist and more money spent, then therefore you think these policies are going to go down or go up? Listen to what Alex Marlowe says to Tommy Lauren. He said it is absolute panic mode for the Harris team. Everybody realized and knew back in 2020 that she was a horrible candidate. Now we're seeing the fruition of it. All the honeymoon stages is worn off, and no one supports this lady. Just like when she went on Charlemagne the God yesterday, which is, again, a stupid name. I think his podcast is kind of like the Call Her Daddy podcast. They're both so terrible. But what it is they have a big audience for some odd reason, kind of like The View. And ultimately, what she came out saying is this: I don't know, I'm from a middle-class family, and a bunch of word salad. Go back, there's no policies in it. The policies, yeah, for the African Americans, like I just told you. So she's pandering instead of actually playing for all Americans. So how's she saying she's going to support all Americans if she's not even building jobs for Americans? She's building jobs for just one group of individuals. What if the other side did that? What if Republicans did that? You talking about pandemonium. It would be, they'd go to jail. It's unbelievable. And then you see the media coming back in supporting her. Well, Gallup just came out and said, well, trust in the establishment media hits records low. No one is paying attention to legacy media. And I think that is the best thing ever. Now, you still have your boomers that do, but ultimately, most generations are like, forget that. We can go to podcasts and listen to independent journalists and really get the truth. If I want to know the truth about what's happening in Philadelphia, I could literally go find an independent journalist from Philadelphia that's actually boots on the ground showing the video to prove it, instead of listening to someone in Washington or New York that has biases behind it to try to get some truth behind it. Come on. And that's what makes this time so important, is that you hear Trump going on all these podcasts like Joe Rogan or Andrew Schultz, or talking to Elon, or literally doing podcasts like with Vivek, or even JD Vance doing a lot of these too. It shows the time has changed. And that's what I love. I love the fact that the legacy media and the narrative and the establishment are losing control, and it's actually the best thing that can actually happen to you as an American and as me as an American. And you don't believe it matters? Listen to this. Trump is winning in now 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the 7 battleground states. He's winning 6 of the 7 battleground states. The only one he's not winning in yet is Wisconsin, and they're hoping to pull that out. They're doing more rallies there. And to be honest with you, I honestly believe that one will come around. I mean, he's even pulling ahead in Michigan. Michigan. You know why? Same way. Border Patrol just came out and endorsed Trump. Trump also just said that he's going to hire 10,000 more and give a percentage higher to the people that's willing to go to the border and make sure the border is secure. That's what Americans want. They want someone to secure the border, save the cities, and make sure that people are getting the rights to have life again, to where their goods are not costing so much to where they're going in piles of debt and they can't afford to live. A better economy. And again, he has the track record. Let's put records against records. Remember, let's actually bring numbers against numbers. Put Trump's numbers against Biden-Harris numbers, and it will blow your mind how in the world people are even making this a tough decision. Why is it even so close? Which I don't believe it's close. I actually believe it's going to be a landslide if it's an honest election. And lastly, here's other good news. Republicans are leading in Senate races in Montana, Ohio, Wisconsin, and Michigan, and Pennsylvania. Does that mean we'll win them all? I don't know. Here's the responsibility. Don't take for granted the fact that all these guys are leading, because that means the Democrats are not going to stop. They have 3 weeks, and they're going to do everything they can to disrupt and change what's going to take place on November 5th. So we have to get out there and show support for these people. Then it comes down to, if the Republicans are get in power, you need to find a better speaker. You need someone like a Thomas Massie, Jim Jordan, and you need to find a better leader. Get McConnell out of there, which he's retiring, but don't let him put in Thune or Cornyn, none of those guys. Let's get Mike Lee, someone like that in there. Rand Paul, someone like that in there. And then Trump needs to fit his cabinet with people that are willing to do the hard jobs. Bring in Elon Musk and Vivek to start cutting some of this swamp and this establishment and get them out of Washington. The truth is, we would go through some major growing pains. And it would be a hard year because a lot of people would lose jobs at the government. But that's exactly what we need. We need change. We need a reset, but we need the reset that we can control as Americans, and American ideas first. And that's what I want to see. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think. And again, I still have a huge surprise coming in at the end of the month. I can't wait to share it with you. I think it's going to be a good announcement that could benefit you if you're wanting to follow more of our journey. I can't wait to share it with you. Guys, thank you so much for watching. God bless.